ringing sound. The metals are usually solid at room temperature. The iron, the sodium, the potassium, copper, silver, gold, platinum, titanium, zinc, tin, lead. All these metals are solid at room temperature except mercury, which is in liquid state. The next one is metals are solid at room temperature. The next, metals have high density. It means they have higher content of mass in a definite volume. Except certain metals such as sodium and potassium, they have lower density. The next one, metals have high density. The next point, metals are usually silvery in appearance, except two metals, that is gold and copper. The color of gold is yellow. The color of copper is reddish brown. All other metal have silvery appearance. Metals have silvery appearance except gold, which is yellow in color and copper, which is reddish brown. What we have discussed in case of metals, that metal is malleable. That means it can be beaten into thin sheets. The aluminum sheets we have, that is the result of its property that is known as malleability. It means the property of the metal to be beaten into thin sheets is known as malleability. So the next we have discussed, metals are ductile. Ductile, it means they can be drawn into thin wires. Silver is most ductile. If we have 100 gram of silver, then it can be drawn into 200 meters of gold. Is also ductile. It can be drawn into wires. So the next we have discussed, metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. These are good conductor of heat and electricity because they contain free electron. Metals are hard because they have strong metallic bonding, and this is the reason why they have high melting and boiling point. You know, the melting point of iron is about 1573 degrees centigrade. The melting point of copper is 1063 degrees centigrade. To the next, we have discussed the metals are having high tensile strength. It means they can withstand with more weight without cracking. Metals are hard. They are solid at room temperature. They are sonorous, means that it produces ringing sound. To the next, they are silvery in appearance. If we see any metal, they have silvery appearance, whereas the gold, which is yellow in color, the next one silver, which is solid, the next one is copper, which is reddish brown in color. We have discussed about the metal. To the next, we will discuss about the non-metal. Non-metals are non-ductile. It means they cannot be drawn into thin wires. What is that one? Properties of physical property. Properties of non-metal. First one, non-metals are non-ductile. it means they cannot be drawn into thin wires. We know in case of oxygen, they are in gaseous state, they cannot be drawn. Oxygen, hydrogen, helium, chlorine, nitrogen. It means most of the non-metals, they are in gaseous state and they cannot be drawn into wire. Few of them are in solid state, such as carbon, they cannot be drawn into thin wires. It means the metals are non-ductile, it means they cannot be drawn into thin wires. The next one, non-metals are non-malleable. That is, they cannot be beaten or hammered down into thin sheets. Or you can say they are brittle, and hence they are brittle. Brittle in nature. It means when we strike them, then they will be crumbs down. That is why they are termed as brittle in nature. The next, non-metals are non-conductor of heat as well, non-conductor of heat and electricity. That is, we know the rubber, the wood, they are non-conductor. The carbon, they are the non-conductor of electricity. Right? But we know graphite is a non-metal. It is good conductor of electricity. But graphite is a non-metal. Graphite is a non-metal which is good conductor of electricity. Next one. Non-metals are usually soft, but the hardest substance known, that is diamond, it is a non-metal. Non-metals are usually soft, but the hardest substance known is diamond, which is a non-metal. Next, we will discuss that non-metals are in solid, in liquid or in gaseous state at room temperature, such as oxygen, the gases oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, bromine, they are in gaseous state. The next, carbon, that is in solid state, phosphorus, solid state, sulfur, solid state. It means the non-metal can exist in solid, liquid and gaseous state. The fourth point, non-metals occur in all the three states. All the three state, that is in solid, solid, liquid, or gas. To the next. Metals are soft. Non-metals are occur in all the three states, that is in solid, liquid and in gaseous states. To the next we will discuss that metal have low melting and boiling point. Non-metals have low melting and boiling points. Non-metals have low melting and boiling point. They are soft. To the next, non-metal have low tensile strength. Non-metal have low tensile strength. Non-metal have low tensile strength. It means they cannot be withstand with more weight. The next, non-metal have low melting point and boiling point, but in case of graphite, it has highest melting point of 3700 degrees centigrade. But graphite has a high melting point of 3700 degree centigrade. The next, non-metals have low tensile strength. Non-metals occurs in different color. The next one, non-metals are non-sonorous. It means they will not produce a ringing sound when we strike them. The next one, non-metal have low density. Non-metal have low density. What we have discussed, certain anomalies are there. What we have discussed, that the non-metals are usually soft, but we know the diamond is the hardest substance known. We have discussed that the non-metals are non-conductor, but graphite is a non-metal and it is good conductor of electricity. We have discussed that the metals are hard, but sodium and potassium are metal which are soft. We have discussed that the metal have high density, but sodium and potassium are metal, but they have low density. To the next, we have discussed that the metal have high melting point, but the mercury exists in liquid state. We have discussed the metal occur in solid state. The example we have the same, that is the mercury, which occur in liquid state. We have discussed that the non-metals have low melting point, but we know the melting point of graphite is more and more, that is 3700 degrees centigrade. This is how we can differentiate the metal with non-metal on the basis of their physical property. But it also contains various anomalies. We will take care of that one. To the next, we will discuss what is metalloid. Metalloid means they have the transition property in between the metal and non-metal. Or we can say they have the characteristic of both metal and non-metal. They are termed as metalloid. They occur in the middle. It means they occur in between the metal and non-metal in the periodic table. The metal exists in the right hand side of the periodic table, whereas non-metal occur in the left hand side of the periodic table. To the next, we will discuss the next metalloid. Let us discuss metalloid. They have the property in transition between metals and non-metal, or we can say they have the property of metal and non-metal. For example, boron. The next one is germanium. That is Ce and silicon. That is Si. This is all about the metal, non-metal and metalloid. Let us differentiate the mixture and compound on the basis of their property. We have discussed that the mixtures are result of physical association. That means when two or more than two substances combine together in any proportion, it means the proportion is not fixed. We can mix any amount of one substance into another that result into mixtures. Whereas in case of compound, we have discussed that the compound is result when two or more than two elements combine together in a fixed proportion of the masses. It means what is the amount of masses they are going to react with each other, that proportion is fixed, then they result into compound. But let us differentiate. First one, mixtures, and the next compound. We have already discussed them. Mixtures, number one, two or more than two substances combined together in any proportion. It results into what? Mixture. If we are mixing sand with water, then it is not definite that how much sand we have to mix in water. We can mix 1 tablespoon, 1 spoon of sand, 2 spoon of sand, 3 spoon of sand, 4 spoon of sand. It means in this case the amount of salt which can be added to a different amount of liquid, that is not fixed. The proportion of mixing the substances is not fixed. If it is not fixed, then they will result into formation of mixtures. Whereas in case of element, the proportion is fixed. When hydrogen and oxygen are combined in the masses of 1:8 only, then they will only form water. What is compound? A compound is formed. Compound is formed when two or more than two substances combine together in the fixed proportion of their masses. To the next, we will discuss mixtures are categorized into two types, homogeneous and heterogeneous. I have already discussed them. That if the composition is same throughout the mixtures, then it is termed as homo. Homo, it means uniform distribution. That is termed as homogeneous mixture. But if the composition is not uniform, then it is termed as heterogeneous mixtures. So next, we will discuss mixtures. That the mixtures are result of physical association. It means it involves the physical changes. But chemical, it involves the chemical changes. Physical changes, it means a change in which no new substance is formed. The substance remains as such. Then they result into formation of mixtures. Whereas compound, a new substance is formed having new property, that is termed as compound. It means mixtures are result of physical change. Whereas compound is result of chemical change. Let us understand it by taking one example. If we have an iron chunks with sulfur powder in a bowl, then the iron chunks with sulfur powder, they are not mixed in a fixed proportion. It means they can be mixed in any proportion. Then they result into mixtures. But when we heat them, then a fixed amount of iron react with fixed amount of sulfur. They will form iron sulfide. How we will check it? We will check in case of iron sulfur powder. If we are trying to bring a magnet near that, then in that case the magnet is going to attract the iron chunks. It means the iron chunks are there, they are going to show their property, and so for that they are attracted by the magnet. If we solubilize the whole compound in carbon disulfide, then the sulfur dissolves, whereas iron remains. It means they are showing the property of their constituent particle. Whereas in case of compound, they are not going to show the properties of their constituent particle. The next is that when we mix iron with sulfur,